What's up, everybody? It's me, Erica Honey, and we are down here to talk about the Real Housewives of New Jersey reunion. I'm up here at our normal location, but I feel like they don't have enough shade for what I'm trying to do today. So, honey, we're going to go elsewhere. Let me see what they have going on. Let's see what we have going on here. Yeah, the trees are not as full as I need. Be careful, please. As I need them to be. Yeah, no. So we're going to go to the other location, but we are going to talk about this as we drive. I really don't want to spend so much time on this. And I was actually watching, go ahead. Did I already tell you to like the video, share it, leave a comment, let me know you stopped by. I was watching, shout out to Jamie, that's me. I was watching her video this morning on Real Housewives of Atlanta. And she was saying like this last episode really didn't, she was like, I don't even know what I'm watching. Maybe it's not entertaining to me. I think so many people are feeling the same way about the Housewives. I really think that, and then, OC came on last night. I haven't had a chance to watch it. I'll watch it later. I don't know if we might talk about it like in a nothing to talk about, but I honestly think after 15 seasons of a show, 13 seasons of a show, people are, they grow out of the storylines. That's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying about, I think Melissa and then somebody else that I was watching, they were like, it's Joe. Oh, when I was watching Scotty's channel with Mims and Rodney the Voice, that was such a great show that they did about their least favorite housewives. I fucking loved it because it was Mims who said it's really Joe that's the star. It's not Melissa. And that's why everybody keeps saying Melissa's boring. She doesn't really have a storyline, blah, blah, blah. It's her brother who has the, personality. And it's her brother who keeps the kind of the men together as well. And I thought that was a great observation because it is true. And, several people in my comments, like, oh, you're a fan of Melissa. Listen, I'm not a fan of Melissa. I'm definitely not a fan of Teresa. I think Teresa is dumb as a bag of rocks. I really do. I have never gone up for the dumb girl. If she's acting dumb, if she's really dumb, goofy, delusional, not taking accountability, always looking dumbfounded when somebody calls her out on her shit, I don't go up for that. I don't care. And it's just because I don't go up for Teresa doesn't mean that I go up for Melissa. Because in real life, in a family conflict, it's typically not one-sided. In this case, it's not one-sided. They are both participating in the conflict. So I don't really go up for Teresa. I don't go up for Melissa. I think that in this reunion, Melissa is tired of kind of placating to Teresa, where even in one moment she says, you're just a sister-in-law who wants a storyline. And then Melissa goes, oh, you just told me I wasn't a sister-in-law. I thought we got away from that. And she was like, I thought that was over with, my sister-in-lawness or something like that, she says. And then Teresa goes, you're gonna be canceled after this. And I felt like Teresa wants the honor and loyalty that comes with a title, but she doesn't want to reciprocate it. And that's the part that makes her unlikable. It's like you want something from these people. Yes, I feel like Teresa has every right to be upset that her sister-in-law and brother came on this show. I think when they came on this show, they created an energy that didn't allow Teresa to live in a land of delusion and a place where she didn't have to be accountable. She would have been able to say all of these things about, I don't have family, I don't have this, and I don't have that, without anyone challenging her, right? I also think it's weird that Dolores, when she came on the show, she was characterized as Caroline's friend. And I'm like, okay, but you've known Teresa since y'all were kids. How come you're not coming on the show as Teresa's friend? I've always thought that was weird, that Dolores, and then Dolores, the way she kind of, I don't know if Dolores flip-flops. I don't think she flip-flops. I think she doesn't take like a real kind of like stance on things. So I did like the fact that Andy was saying, Dolores, what do you think about this? And then when Dolores said that she knew about Louie calling Marge's son's job, like, how do you get out of that? And I kept asking online, like, what excuses are you making for Louie, who is a scoundrel, scumbag, stalker, deranged fan who Teresa legally attached herself to like a dummy? That's the part, like, girl, you are dumb. You literally married a stalker fan. Y'all can't tell me Louie is not a stalker. Y'all can't tell me he's not a fan. And y'all can't tell me he's not deranged. How do you excuse not telling Frankie Jr. that your company has shut down? Frankie's trying to call you, and now all of a sudden he doesn't work for Louie anymore. Louie's company closes down, and he doesn't tell Frankie. And then somebody online was like, companies do that all the time. Not as close as the degrees of separation that Frankie has to Louie. If you gave me the job, if the job shuts down, motherfucker, you better call me. I should not have to run around town looking for you, especially knowing that my mom and his fiance or wife, Teresa, are like this. Your company shuts down and you don't call Frankie. Everybody saying that they've been contacted in some sort of way, and then he blurts out that, oh, I got this private investigator. And he says it a couple of times and then says, I don't know anything. And then turn around and say, I didn't have nothing to do with the people investigating you, but I know everything about y'all. How then? And then Teresa, well, you obviously, telling Margaret, you obviously don't have the money to hire private investigators. Like, you want Margaret to be this villain. And like she asked, what rumors have I brought out besides Bill Aiden? What rumors have I brought to camera? And then Danielle with her silly ass sitting up there talking about she doesn't feel set up. Bitch, you were set up. And Jennifer Aiden, you going out like a sucker. Like Jennifer says, Andy says, so if Melissa knew about this rumor, y'all went to her before when cameras were down, you went to her before, but then you're gossiping with Danielle, who's like wanting you to tell her who is the rumor about? Who is the rumor about? Who is the rumor about? And instead of saying, I really don't want to tell you, I've already talked to Melissa about it. Like, that should have been what came out of Jennifer Aiden's mouth. Melissa knows about the rumor. The person, if you didn't want to tell her that it was Melissa, you could have said the person that it's about, I've already had a conversation with them about the rumor, trying to tell them who started the rumor or where the rumor originated from. Once again, it sounds like Laura was, you're gossiping and giving third and second hand gossip, and none of the shit is landing. You look ridiculous. I knew that Jennifer Aiden thinking that buddying up, talking to this woman named Laura, I knew that she was going to wait to the reunion to kind of say things, but none of it is landing. That whole entire couch doesn't look smart. They don't look smart at all. And Teresa, what'd she say? Oh, storyline. Where are you getting this from? They're using me for a storyline. Your family dynamic is the storyline for this show. It is. It is the central character of this show. And you can't deny it. And Joe Gorga and Teresa Gorga participate in it equally. There's no one to root for. There's nobody there's nothing to take sides. Yeah, I do feel like Teresa has every right to be annoyed that her brother and her sister-in-law came on her show and ruined the narrative that she seemed to be wanting to create. I don't have any family. But then when Danielle Staub mentions, did you go to your nephew's. Did you go to the hospital to see your nephew? And Teresa gets so angry, right? Because I'm calling you out on some behavior that nobody knows about. And what you're doing in this moment, Danielle Staub, is cracking this narrative. I hate the word narrative. You're cracking this story and making it seem like I'm trying to make it seem like my brother isn't a brother to me. You are saying something that makes me look bad, so now I'm fucking angry. That is how Teresa was moving. Then it was something I was about to say. I'm gonna go to my notes. I'm like, okay, I don't want this review to be long because, like I was saying, I think a lot of people are not, they're like tired of the storylines. I think we've gotten enough of the story. This is what I was saying when my first thought, when I first got it's like people are tired of the storylines going on and on and on. This has been going on they've been here since the 3rd season. So this has been going on for 10 seasons. I think people are over it. Like, honestly, like I said online last night, if I was an executive who was in charge of contract negotiations, I would think long and hard about renegotiating Teresa's contract simply because of who she's attached to. I think that Louie is dangerous. I think that he is psychotic. I really do. Him in the back with no shirt on because he sweats like a hog. It's just creepy. And you were love bombed and you attached yourself to this man, and he had a bad business dealing with your brother. He had a bad business dealing. I don't care what y'all say. He had a bad business dealing with Dina's husband. He had a bad business dealing with Frankie Jr. I don't think he'll ever come after Dolores, because if he comes after Dolores, there is Frank and Paulie he will have to answer to. I can't wait to see what happens when they come out, because I feel like everybody is saying the same thing. There's no way to deny that you had everybody on the show investigated down to the Fudas. What? Why them? Why would you even try to find out what jail the ex-wife or the boy's mother was in? Why are you calling Margaret's son's job? Even after showing the telephone number and the phone records, Teresa's like, it's not true. It's like, girl, that's the part that I cannot stand about Teresa and people like her. You have evidence in your face that this man did this, and you're still, it's not true. It's not true, with your stupid sloped forehead ass. I cannot stand it. I cannot stand it. Dolores, what do you think about that Melissa and Joe are responsible for, Teresa going to jail? Now, I'm going to say this, and this is like, when y'all say, like, it just being fair, Teresa was not saying that her brother and his sister-in-law were responsible for her going to jail, but they were hanging out with the people responsible for ratting her and Joe out. I feel like they were intentionally misunderstanding what she was saying. She literally was not saying they're responsible for putting me in jail. No, she was saying they hung out with people responsible for putting me in jail. Remember how I think it was 50 Cent got mad at his son for hanging out with somebody who had something to do with shooting him. It's odd to kind of, for me in the Melissa and Teresa and Joe situation, I feel like even before the show started, the relationship was strained. So I feel like you do expect certain behaviors from family. But can you expect certain behaviors from family when you are in conflict, right? You don't expect for your family to treat you like a stranger off the street or approach you like a stranger off the street, especially when you're not in conflict. But when you're in conflict, can you really have those expectations of your family members to uphold the idea of family? I feel like for so long, for Teresa and Joe, we've been trying to work this family out It's like constantly, I'm sure some of you have had strained relationships with family members, and people are trying to get you to reconcile, and it's beyond reconciliation. I feel like Joe and Teresa they overstayed their relationship, and just because they're brother and sister does not mean they need to be in relationship with each other. Now, in that sense, that means that they don't need to be on the show. We're not in relationship with each other. We are not going to work on our, our relationship as siblings. I don't fuck with Melissa, never have from the beginning since y'all got together. She's been calling Melissa a gold digger, called her a stripper. It's clear. But then in the same instance, you want this loyalty as a sister-in-law to be given to you, and you don't even like Melissa. That's what I'm saying. It's like it's kind of narcissistic to expect things out of people, and you're not going to reciprocate, and you have no intentions of reciprocating, and they're so busy trying to repair, and you don't even fucking like them, and you don't care. And I feel like for Melissa, she has been trying to quote unquote repair the relationship between her and Teresa for the sake of her brother. I mean, for the sake of her husband. And I think once Joe says, you know what, fuck it, cut it out. Stop trying to placate to her. Stop trying to repair or trying to be cool with her, hugging her. Stop it. Because her and I are never going to be cool, and you shouldn't have to work so hard to try to repair something that is irreparable. It is. It really is. And like I said, I would definitely reconsider putting Teresa back on the show only because of Louie. I think Louie is maniacal. I think he's dangerous. He looks like this crazed lunatic sitting there, flushed, completely red, sweating like a hog. Like, this is your man, girl. And you're trying to, and everybody on stage is saying he's done something to them in some way in just a short amount of time. And you really want to, I wouldn't give Louie a platform at all, at all. Melissa reads the text from Jacqueline. You are going by what Jacqueline Loretta is saying, and Jacqueline says, I know I shouldn't care, but her arrogance, voice, and the fact that she gets away with way too much after being a nasty asshole bothers me. She's a low-life trash bucket. She's stupid but very calculating. Even with her 2 facelifts, eye lifts, nose job, shaved forehead, Botox fillers, and new boobs, she's still so ugly and thinks she's a goddess. LOL. No, I'm not bitter at all. LOL. Every time I see something on her, it irritates me all over again, obviously. She's infamous for being being a dumb, classless train wreck. She doesn't get it. And while Melissa is reading this, they're like, ooh, Jackie's gonna get you after that. What the fuck is Jacqueline Loretta gonna do, girl? She was a damn follower, and she was like Danielle. Jacqueline Loretta didn't have no fucking backbone. What the fuck is she gonna do? Ooh, you're in trouble now. Oh, Dolores like, ooh, you're going down. From Jacqueline Loretta? Girl, bye. Are you for real? Girl, get. And then, Teresa's like, I'm glad I'm getting rid of this negative energy. No, my dear. Negative energy is going to be sitting behind you. I say that Louie is Dirty John. He is a dirty John. Have y'all seen Dirty John? That's Louie. And Teresa allowed this man to come into her life. She just so happened to run into this motherfucker on the street. That didn't just so happen. And what he did to everybody else, he's capable of doing to you when he no longer, quote unquote, loves or respects you. And I'm sure before they met, he had her investigated too. I believe that. Jen Aiden going after Rachel for being Bravo 1 2 3 4. Bravo 1 2 3 4. Jen Aiden, You attempted to be on another reality show. You wanted to be on this reality show. You are as much of a fan and have watched the show as any other woman in New Jersey. New Jersey has been on our screens for 13 seasons. I don't think there's anybody in New Jersey that lives in those areas that haven't seen a clip, hasn't seen an episode of New Jersey. I didn't think she saw the episode. You told me you didn't watch the series, and I was just giving you context about me and Dolores' relationship. Why did you think it was in anybody's best interest to talk about Dolores to Rachel when she's known Dolores for so many years? You're just a little busybody gossip. That's why I say her and Margaret are not too different. Margaret sits around gossiping. Jen Aiden sits around gossiping. Can you make her stop? She'll run out of gas in a minute. And this idea that Andy is being disrespectful to them. No, you just don't like it that he's saying what he needs to say to these women. Shut up. Y'all both being assholes. All of this stuff. And I really want to know, when they're having overlapping conversation, should Andy just sit there and let them go? I'm going to just let y'all go. I'm going to let y'all go. Have overlapping conversation. And when it's time to edit, we won't have anything because nobody can hear y'all. Also, I think every reunion that uploads to Peacock should be uncensored. Vanderpump Rules was uncensored for in 3 parts of the reunion, and it was such a delight to watch without all of the beeping. Because when I tell you they was cussing so much, and they probably realized, let's make this uncensored because they're cussing so much, we won't be able to hear anything they're saying if we're bleeping everything. Dolores chimes in when Rachel says that the ex-wife or the son's mother was contacted by Louie. I don't know anything about that. She tells Margaret, it's like the pot calling the kettle black. Margaret says, I don't hire people to look after people. I don't hire people to investigate because you don't have the money to. You started this, Margaret. Even when Melissa called Louie a bitch boy, and then she was like, oh, I thought my husband was a bitch boy. Now you got the master bitch boy in this. And then Teresa says out of her mouth, my brother made him the bitch boy. Because she says that it's her brother's fault that Louie is on the show. Do you think you would have been able to never introduce him to the show? You could have told him. He was so eager to get on the show. This is what he wanted. You married a deranged fan. You did. And I really want to see how this goes for Teresa. Because on Mad Day, what he was capable of doing to the people closest to you, he's going to do it to you. So be mindful. That's why you got to watch people when they're angry and they're mad. Because what they're capable of doing to other people, they are absolutely capable of doing it to you. So Teresa needs to be very mindful. Jen Flessler comes out and Jackie Goldschneider comes out. They both look great. Jackie looks great. Jen looks great. She had a facelift, nose job, all of this stuff. How do you feel about the Ozempic? Dolores taking that. She says she understands how people are addicted to, losing weight. And she heard that after you stop taking Ozempic that you gain all the weight back. One thing about diet and weight loss, what I've learned over the years, and I'm sure some of you have learned, maybe you haven't learned, but when you start like a regimen, it's something that should be sustainable in order to keep you at that weight or whatever, or your desired weight. You have to do something that you can continue, that you can actually make a lifestyle. And taking medication can't be a lifestyle. Taking medication to suppress your appetite can't be a lifestyle. Because it's ultimately damaging to your body. She has a book coming out called The Weight of Beautiful. So, I'm sure y'all will tell me about that. When Melissa said she wanted to drunk dial her text, the brother I grew up with wouldn't be okay with that. You are married and you have kids. Girl, I was joking, but didn't I say in the review how Teresa chimed in? She was like, your ex-boyfriend. Whether you were playing or not, you should basically modify your behavior because you're married and you have your children watching. And I love that Melissa came back and said, well, you call people, I'll see you next Tuesday. Oh my God, I can't believe it. You did that? You would say that? You have children and you're married. Oh my God. Yeah, but I had a reason to. Girl, shut up. Shut up. You're taking something fun and lighthearted and trying to twist it around. Do you think I was serious? And then I love when Melissa came back with what Teresa said a few, was it a reunion? Was it a reunion? It was a reunion. Or no, it was in an interview. It's funny. It's a joke. Haha, get it? It's funny. She did that. Margaret's relationship with her kids. Jan died. I did not know that Jan died. That's really sad. Jan's daughter still doesn't speak to her. When they try to like bring up stuff about Margaret cheating, she said she talked to Jan every day. She'd bring up the thing about Margaret cheating. And it was like, you were cheating with Joe and you were giving him BJs in the car and this and that. And she was like, yeah, we were a little racy at the beginning. Yeah, because they were both cheating on their spouses. They asked Marge, how are you you're being hypocritical by getting upset because they said that you're a better friend than an enemy. Why is it okay for them to say that? She was like, no, because they were kind of warning somebody. They were forewarning her and making it seem like I was a bad person. And then they asked, well, Jackie said it. And Jackie says, well, I basically was saying that she's a formidable enemy. Like that's I tell people, be mindful of who you choose as an enemy, because some people don't give a F and they're ready to play. Teresa says the only reason why she said it is because Jackie said, even Jackie rolled her eyes. Girl, no accountability. It's all because everything that Teresa does is an influence, or it's because someone else. It's something outside of herself. It's never her. Never. Marge, where are you getting information on people? She's a gossip. Do you have Google alerts? No, because Google alerts is not gossip. That's something that's public. Gossip is like, oh girl, we having a secret. Nobody knows this. I feel like Margaret is a town gossip. I feel like Jennifer Aiden is a younger version of Margaret. That's why when y'all be in the comments like, ooh, you don't like Jennifer. Actually, Jennifer and Margaret were my favorite housewives. They're the same. It's the same person. You're a little busybody and you're just like Margaret. You are a younger version of Margaret. You are. And the difference between you is that you want to shame Margaret for things that you would feel guilty and shameful about. And you want to project that shame onto her, and it doesn't work and it doesn't land. Old lady energy. She gives old Andy. You know how you give big dick energy? She gives old lady energy. Go, girl. Bye. You sound stupid. You sound delayed. Girl. What rumor have I put out besides Bill Aiden? Teresa chimes in. The rumor about Louie. No, those were already out there. She was trying to tell Louie, you better talk about this. Evan and Jackie. She was like, no, you did. Even Jackie was like shaking her head. Girl. And Laura trying to get onto the show. It became more about that. Right. She says, what happened with the breakdown of your relationship with Laura? It became more about the show. Someone told her to start drama, and that's when she went to Jennifer and Teresa. That's a good way to get on the show. And obviously they didn't bring her on the show. She didn't make an appearance. If she did, they cut her out. They didn't invite her anywhere. So I'm not sure. Jennifer, when did you meet with her? Why did you meet with her? I was mad, right? At least she was honest about that. You already told Melissa about the rumors that Laura was sharing with you about the cheating. You see Danielle's face completely change. And then when we went to tell them, Joe said, can you believe how disgusting my sister is? And then Teresa's like, I didn't even have anything to do with it. You don't? Why bring it up on camera? Why tell Danielle not to do it like it was a secret? Well, that was the narrative. Andy, you don't like it when people keep stuff to themselves or keep stuff a secret. But I don't know. See, for me, I felt like a better answer would have been, well, I told her off camera. I didn't want it to be mentioned on camera because of how I felt when my situation with Bill was brought on camera. Instead, she was like, well, I was just going with a narrative. Girl, why? Why wouldn't you tell Danielle, I kind of don't want to tell you who the rumor is about. And anyways, I already spoke to that person. They already know about the rumor. So you won't have to feel like, oh, I need to be a good Samaritan and talk to Melissa about this rumor that's going around about her that started with Margaret in your effort to like, to run this story that Margaret is this awful person. Girl. Danielle, how do you feel about this? They were like, you were manipulated. And she was like, did you guys set me up? And then she said she doesn't feel set up because she doesn't want to feel like anyone's pawn. Hello, Portia. Portia Williams didn't want to feel like anybody's pawn, and Phaedra played the shit out of her, just like Teresa and Jackie, what's the girl's name? Jennifer played the shit out of you, and you look like a fool. And you look like a fool. Frank is in the back talking about the dynamics of what's going on with all the trouble in this group of people. Is Louie. He's the difference. He's the difference now. Oh yeah, she says she felt bad about the rumor about Teresa said she felt bad about the rumor about Melissa. Did you feel bad when you were trying to say she was a stripper? Did you feel bad? Did you feel bad then when you was trying to say she was a stripper and worked at a... I didn't say that. Yeah, but you would bring people on camera to say these things about your sister-in-law. Girl, a mess. You tried to break up your brother's family. She says she wishes Melissa happiness, girl. And then she started to swear on her kids. And Melissa said, don't do that. Don't swear on your kids. That's weak. That's weak as hell. Because you know you lying. You don't wish me happiness, girl. Like, stop it. Andy screams, hold on! He gets upset. I swear to God, you guys are like kindergartners. You guys do not grow and you do not evolve. I don't see nothing wrong with what he said. He's telling the truth because we're still talking about this. I just want Teresa. I'm glad that they're at this place where, like, girl, when we're all said and done, I'm not gonna be fucking with you, and that's it. You were looking for excuses not to come to my wedding. You wanted a storyline. You wanted a storyline. Wait till Louie comes out. Louie wants to be a part of the show. Now he's a bitch. He's the bitch boy. Your husband made him a bitch boy. That's what she said. Frank is mad at Louie because Frank Jr. was not working with Louie anymore. He closed the business and didn't tell him. I think that was fucked up. Jennifer and the psychic. The psychic, that's the problem that I have. We knew that the psychic knew too much information that was too detailed for her not to be just like going off of tea leaves or coffee grounds. She was Nono's nurse. So she knew the family dynamic of Teresa and Melissa. And Melissa says, that was the nurse. But then at the same time, here's Jennifer on the other side saying that that Melissa never visited, that the nurse said Melissa never visited Nono. So how did Melissa know that was the nurse, Nono's nurse, if she never visited him? When you asked the psychic about your marriage. No, Andy, that's not the point of it. Andy kept asking the question. Yeah, we're talking about it. The one therapy session between her and Bill was good, she said. I'm not going to push it. She says that he explained that he uses the pool hall to decompress, which I understand that explanation. And she says that she goes in the pool house now and kind of, hangs out with him. She does whatever she needs to do to be happy in her marriage. And you blame Marge for your daughter wanting to be a love therapist. She says, my daughter used to run around the house saying she wanted to be a Broadway star. And Marge was like, she'll be a Broadway star, right? I'm not going to take responsibility for your daughter wanting to be a love therapist. Obviously, there is issues that have gone on in your marriage for years, and you talk too much around your daughter. Why did you call her a drug addict? And she was like, when your vices become a part of your lifestyle, I feel like it's too much. She was like, I don't have anything with, any issues with people smoking weed. They shared that she had some, I guess, THC spray or something for her pot puss. And that's when she said, you got old lady energy, girl. You ain't too far off the little busybody, the town gossip, the village gossip. You're not too far off from Marge. What was the point of telling Melissa on camera so that she can kill it on camera? I didn't know that she was going to freak out. What's up with the private investigators? You called Marge's child at work. No, he didn't. She shows the phone records. Whose number is this? That's Louie's number. Now what? He called Marge's son and said, I'm the one you have to worry about. Well, it's spoofing. They share that there's a hat going around where people are calling housewives from numbers that are already in their phone, and they pick up the phone and nobody says anything. Teresa says, oh no, they say something to me. And this was a spoof. They keep trying to say it was a spoof call, but not calling the relatives of the people. They're calling y'all. As they were talking about this, you see Teresa on her phone, right? And then a few minutes later, all of a sudden she was like, Andy, you see I have 2 missed calls from Margaret and 1 missed call from Dolores. Girl, that's the thing. Like, girl, no. They were like, Louie's in the back watching this. He probably called you twice, right? You see I have 2 calls from Margaret, girl, whatever. The police knows it's true to do something about it. I love when she told Teresa, you're a criminal and so is Louie. I can look him dead in his eye and tell him he's a criminal. Melissa, it's right here. Oh, sister-in-law, this is a storyline. I thought I wasn't your sister-in-law. Oh, you're canceled after this. And then she says, we're all going to laugh because you set shit in stone and it doesn't happen. And you never let it, you never stick to it. And we're all going to laugh at you. Dolores, what do you think about this? She was like, I don't want to have anything to do with it. And that's when Teresa was like, oh, you knew about this? She was like, yeah, but she told me you knew. So I don't want to be a part of this. She's like, do what you got to do, baby. So, she's mad at anyone that she feels is not loyal to her. And the things she wants them to be loyal about, they don't want to be involved in. Like the shit y'all doing, the shit you doing with Louie, it's out of here. I don't want to see his sham of a face again. You're going to see him any second because he's going to be sitting right here. He's going to be sitting right here and you can tell him for yourself. You can look him in the eyes and tell him. She was like, you're a criminal. And she was like, you're disgusting. Margaret says, you're gaslit every single day. He belittles you. He makes you look like an asshole. And I don't know why Teresa asked Jen Fessler to chime in, and then even Jennifer was like, you can be the voice of reason here. Jennifer Fessler was like, I'm not, don't talk to me. That's when Andy says, you're both acting like assholes. And then she was like, she started it. And then that's when the men come out, and then that's going to be the next episode when the men are out there, and I can't wait to see it. They were trying to tell them, don't fight, let's not get into any fights. And Louie's like, thanks for caring. And then Joe Gorga was like, no, I'm good. So we're going to see them. I'm glad Frank is there. And it's like everybody on that end, like, okay, so did anybody do any investigation on Danielle and Nate? Right? I'm sure they probably did. Like I said, if he F's with Dolores, I don't think it's going to turn out well. I don't think it's going to turn out well. Y'all let me know what y'all think of the episode. That was it. Take care of each other. Protect your energy. Let's get down in the comments. Peace.